Hello everyone, Richardson here, and I've always wanted to use a fax machine, but by the time I started using technology, fax machines hadn't been used in a long while. If only I could go back in time and test them out. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Item number SCP-5279. Containment class, Safe. Disruption class, VLAN. Risk class, Notice. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5279-1 is to be contained in a standard item containment locker. SCP-5279-2 objects produced by SCP-5279-1 are to be destroyed via the use of an incinerator interconnected to SCP-5279-1 if they are deemed untranslatable. If they are translatable, they will be transferred to the Foundation Lingual Department for deciphering. Websites are to be monitored for any mention of SCP-5279-2-like documents, which will be dealt with if necessary. Description: SCP-5279-1 is a UX-300 fax machine that periodically prints pieces of paper. SCP-5279-2. The vast majority of SCP-5279-2 objects are blank, incomprehensible, or torn apart. However, a small percentage of objects are semi-comprehensible, written in a mix of early Anglo-Frisian and Anglo-Saxon. The writing system used in SCP-5279 language is that of Anglo-Saxon runes. SCP-5279-1 is assumed to be from an alternate universe, due to the contents of SCP-5279-2 documents. No signal is sent to SCP-5279-1 before a document is printed. SCP-5279-1 is able to function without internet access, power, or parts essential to the function of a normal, non-anomalous UX-300 fax machine. Addendum A-1. SCP-5279-1, along with 67 SCP-5279-2 documents, was discovered in an abandoned
classified
product manufacturing facility in Hastings, the United Kingdom, on the 11th of the 16th, 2011. The facility in question is coincidentally located where an Anglo-Saxon era church was once located, according to the
classified
tapestry. As the facility was shut down on the 5th of the 9th, 2006, it can be presumed that SCP-5279 was left uncontained for over 5 years. SCP-5279 was brought to the Foundation's attention when reports of SCP-5279 incidents began to appear on the internet, gaining an almost myth-like status in the suburb of St. Leonard's among younger residents. Due to the large period in which SCP-5279 was uncontained, it can be assumed that copies of SCP-5279-2 may have been taken from the building. The following addendums include 4 of the most distinct SCP-5279-2 documents. Addendum A-2. Document title: Non-applicable. Anomalous: No. Description: a partially written letter addressed to a
classified
who at the time was the mayor of Hastings. The letter seems to be talking of a celebration of an anniversary. See translation below. 9th of the 27th, 2005. 09101-Sojos Paddock. Untranslatable, assumed to be an address, but completely different from the modern system. As you know, the Council of the Victorious City of Hastings, translated from Fich Ao Ao Golfan Hasti, assumed to be an honorary title. In the original translation, Hastings was translated as Hasti, likely related to the city's title, has decided to cancel all celebrations of Victory Day. This is because of the presence of eye snatchers, translated from Ach Arissa, It is unknown if the text was lost in translation or if the meaning is literal. In the local realm, Lola Council has passed the legislature with no votes against. It is the mayor that must make the final decision, in accordance with the 1908 decree of Edith V. It is of the utmost importance that you, with your power in the mayoral position which was handed to you by your late father, make the decision to call off all celebrations. Though Victory Day is a pride to the people of the victorious city of Hastings, safety is our utmost priority. We must cancel the event outright. We have next year for a celebration. Section was initially covered by marker, but was easily uncovered after discovery. This may indicate that the document is a draft. Let us work with the martial officials to end the threat of eye snatchers and other abominations before we carry on. The king will be in attendance and he must be safe. The following members of the council agree with me on this point. Their signatures are below. Section cut for brevity. Addendum A-3. Document title: Martial Reports, 10th of the 3rd, 2005. Anomalous, no. Description: a police report dated 10th of the 3rd, 2005. Contains images of aforementioned eye snatchers. 10th of the 3rd, 2005. Hastings Martial Section. Incidents involving abominations. 9th of the 28th, 2005. Events: multiple children of resident
classified,
aged 8, 10 and 12 were discovered outside the family household. Youngest was missing eyes, perfectly removed from the sockets, with unbelievable levels of skill. The other 2 children are unable to talk due to shock and still refuse to at the time of the last check-in by Martial Section 10th of the 2nd, 2005. However, children did lead marshals to the area of the incident. 9th of the 30th, 2005. Events: resident
classified,
found in abandoned
classified,
storage facility.
classified,
Was missing his jugular, teeth, excluding the canines, genitalia, and eyes. His family has been alerted. Photo of collapsed storage facility below, with eye snatcher in frame. 10th of the 1st, 2005. The eyes of
classified,
found inside the
classified,
sack of
classified,
replacing the man's.
classified,
The family of the child have not been informed as to limit their already heavy state of despair. Image of the scene below. 10th of the 2nd, 2005. Multiple eye snatchers were spotted in the White Oak district. Increased martial presence has been approved. End of incident list. End of addendum. Addendum A-4. Document title: Audio of the White Oak Massacre. Anomalous, no. Description: a transcript of the audio of a failed eye snatcher nest raid. The events of the audio are not described, and only the conversation between the police officers remains. The events of this document have been transcribed by Foundation personnel using the transcribed audio. Misinterpretations are a distinct possibility. Audio of the White Oak Massacre. Noise is from 10th of the 9th, 2005. Written 10th of the 10th, 2005. Officers are assumed to be standing outside of a public well. They discuss their plan of entry before approaching the well, beginning their descent. Descent 8:09 to 8:15 p.m. Descent begins with the men in high spirits.
It is time for justice, brothers. This is for the people of Hastings. Remember your training and keep your heads held steady. Yes, sir.
Men descend silently until 8:14 p.m, assumed to be around 3/4 of the way down the well.
We are nearing the nest mouth, Section Officer. There appears to be no water notably. There are red stains upon the mouth walls, common in eye snatcher nests. The throat of the nest has been spotted. It is of great size around 1 elni in height and 3 feet in width. Team commencing raid now.
Massacre, 8:16 to 8:30 p.m. Men enter the throat of the nest, assumed to be a hole in the walls of the well. They do not speak for over 4 minutes, as they traverse the throat, either due to interference or to not alert any eye snatchers. Eventually, the silence is broken by Marshal Fuller, shaken at the large amount of eyes they have come across.
By God, so many eyes. I cannot find an area where I'm not watched by the stolen pearls. This is not normal, Section Officer. We have only just entered the throat. There should be a complete lack of stolen orbs until at least the stomach is reached.
Group continues occasionally speaking. This will be cut out for brevity. After 4 minutes of descent, Marshal Stone reports movement.
Fuller, movement ahead. Abomination? Impossible. We have walked now. Only 10 minutes. Not once in my 20 years of nest raids have I seen a snatcher this far up. But sir, I swear, silence yourself. You are seeing things. It happens to recruits. I recommend you listen to Godwin. Understood. Apologies, sir.
Descent continues for another 6 minutes, before another notable event occurs in the stomach of the nest. It is assumed that the team has spotted an eye snatcher.
Sir, ahead. What? This isn't normal. Fire upon it, Stone.
Marshal Stone is assumed to have fired upon the eye snatcher. The audio becomes incomprehensible according to the transcript writer. This is the only note written in the document.
Fire two. Many blood.
Connection to Marshals is assumed lost. Summary. Following the loss of contact with Marshals Fuller, Stone, and Godwin, the Abominations took their first recorded motion of direct contact with the Marshal section. Though they fought bravely, they were outnumbered, and ultimately 17 Marshals and ground staff would die in the massacre. Deaths: Richard Fuller, Ivan Stone, Edmund Godwin, Section Officer Edgar Wright. 14 more names are listed, but will not be displayed for the sake of brevity. End of addendum. Addendum A-5. Document title: Not applicable. Anomalous: No. Description: a series of letters faxed by a member of the Council of the Victorious City of Hastings, referred to as CVCH in the remainder of this document for brevity. The member is seemingly in a manic state due to the presence of eyes protruding from the areas they should not be protruding from. From the description of the events in the letters, it can be assumed an XK or similar class type scenario is taking place. October 12th. There are eyes falling from my ceiling. They are protruding from areas on my own person where eyes should not be protruding. They come from the walls held floating by still connected veins. Veins is assumed to be in reference to the optic nerve of the eyes. They are watching me as I write this. They aren't just eyes. They must be connected to one of those vile beasts. I hear them move every few minutes. I saw one too. It was above me, its head melting through my ceiling. I know they're outside. I still hear them screaming on occasion from one of their victims. I know I'm safer inside than out. I know this idea to be incredibly foolish, due to the large-scale attack by the Abominations, but I have decided to contact the Marshal's office and Mayoral office via fax. This is my last call for help. I feel the eyes moving in my skin. I feel my own eyes attempting to push themselves from my head. And I feel the hot breath of a snatcher right behind me on my own neck. Help. October 13th. My fingers disappeared today, yet I still feel them tapping away at my keyboard as I write this. But I have no keyboard, and I am using my invisible fingers to write on my invisible keyboard. They're everywhere I look now. I can feel them boring into my skin, creating new orifices every few minutes, yet I feel no pain. There is a pile of eyes around a foot high on the ground. They writhe around as if they are alive, and at this point, I'm convinced they are. I tried leaving the room, only to find a wall made of snatchers. They didn't do anything but stand in place and stare at me. My windows are blocked in a similar way. Things continue to disappear, but I know they are still present, like my bed, which I lay down on still, causing me to float. During the small period of time in which I was able to sleep, the snatchers whispered indescribable things to me. I know I'm talking to no one. I know that everything is over. But if anyone is reading this, please help me. 14. Eyes gone. Screen gone. Outside black. Arms gone. Feet gone. Everything gone. Death never arriving.
How am I even writing this? 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 How am I even writing this?
List continues for another 25 pages. SCP-5279 is assumed to have warped into our universe during or after this event. A hypothesis proposed by Dr.
Classified.
revolves around SCP-5279 also gaining its anomalous abilities during this event. See document 5279/MISC for details. End of addendum. That was end of the document. Still want to use a fax machine. I doubt anything like that would happen if I got one. Anyway, goodbye. Hello there, Creepy Otter here. Just a few things. I want to say a big thanks to MrIverson for this document. It was amazing. There was a bit of everything in there. Just perfect for an SCP document. Their stuff will be in the description below. Go to my description for my Twitter if you want to be updated on things. Also, my Patreon is there if you want to support me more. So yeah, goodbye.